My name's Emily Carter. I don't usually talk about this, but I can't keep it inside anymore. What happened to me in Harbor Maine, I still can't explain it. I was there for work. Just a simple business trip that should have lasted 2 nights. I'm a marketing consultant, and a local tourism company hired me to help with their seasonal campaign. Now, Bar Harbor's usually alive in the summer, packed with tourists heading to Acadia or out on the water. But this was late November, way past the season. The shops were closed, the streets were empty after dark, and the ocean fog rolled in so thick I could barely see 10 feet ahead. The town should have felt peaceful, but instead it felt like the beginning of a nightmare. I had driven up from Boston that day, nearly 5 hours on winding roads that seemed to get lonelier the farther north I went. By the time I arrived, it was close to midnight. My contact at the company had left a message earlier saying our meeting was scheduled for the following morning, and they'd arranged a reservation for me at a hotel near the harbor. The Harbor Grand Hotel. I had never heard of it before, but when I saw its faded neon sign glowing through the mist, I didn't care how it looked. I just wanted a warm bed and a few hours of sleep. The building stood 6 stories tall, pale brick worn down by salt and sea air. A few of the windows were dark, some lit with a faint yellow glow. The lobby was lit by a chandelier that flickered softly, casting odd shadows on the cracked tile floor. Behind the counter sat a man with thinning hair and deep-set eyes that looked almost bruised from lack of sleep. His name tag read, Miles. "Checking in?" he asked, voice flat, like he'd said the words too many times to care. "Yes," I said, sliding my ID across. "Reservation should be under Emily Carter, Harbor Tourism Group." He typed slowly on an ancient-looking computer, the keys clicking one by one. Then, without a word, he slid a key card across the counter. 6th floor, room 617. End of the hall, I thanked him, and turned toward the elevator. But I couldn't help noticing the way his eyes lingered on me as I left. Not in a predatory way. More like he wanted to say something but couldn't. The elevator creaked as it climbed. Its mirrored walls reflected my tired face back at me, though for a moment I thought I saw my reflection blink a fraction later than I did. I shook it off as exhaustion. The 6th floor hallway was long and narrow, wallpaper peeling slightly at the edges. A faint buzzing filled the air, like static leaking from somewhere. At the very end, I found my room. 617. The door opened with a soft groan. Inside, the room looked ordinary enough. A double bed, neatly made, a desk, a small TV mounted on the wall, heavy curtains drawn tight over the single window. I dropped my bag on the chair and locked the door. There was something heavy in the air, a thickness that made my chest tight, but I told myself it was nothing. Just an old hotel. I showered, brushed my teeth, and climbed into bed. The sheets were cool, almost too cool, but I was too tired to care. Sometime later, hours, minutes, I don't know, I woke up. It was 2:13 a.m. The digital clock by the bed glowed red in the dark. I lay there, disoriented, until I heard it. Tap, 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 3 sharp knocks against the wall right beside me. I froze, holding my breath. Maybe it was someone in the next room. The walls were thin. That had to be it. But then it came again. Tap, 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 slower, more deliberate. And this time, a whisper followed. "Oh, help me." My mouth went dry. I pressed my ear to the wall, heart pounding. Nothing. I climbed back into bed, pulling the blanket up to my chin. My rational mind told me I was imagining things, that I was just overtired. But then I noticed the air. The room was freezing. My breath came out in pale clouds, drifting upward like smoke. I couldn't sleep again that night. Every sound, the creak of the floor, the hum of the heater, the faint shifting of pipes, made me jump. By morning, I was desperate to get out. When daylight finally seeped through the curtains, I packed up my bag and went downstairs. Miles was at the desk again, his face as pale as before. "Checking out?" he asked. "Yes. Room 617. He frowned. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but we don't have a room 617. I stared at him. "What? That's impossible. I stayed there last night." He shook his head slowly. "There are only 16 rooms on each floor. The last room on the 6th is 616. My stomach flipped. "No. I have the key card." I reached into my pocket, but when I pulled my hand out, it was empty. The card was gone. He gave me a polite, tired smile. "Maybe you misremembered. Long drive, late night. Happens all the time." I wanted to scream at him, but instead I begged him to come upstairs with me. He reluctantly agreed, probably just to humor me. The 6th floor looked different in daylight. Cleaner, brighter, no static buzzing. And at the end of the hall where my room had been, there was only a wall. Room 616 stood there, its brass numbers gleaming. No door after it. No trace of 617. I felt dizzy. "I swear to you, I stayed here last night. My bag, my clothes, they're still in there." But Miles only shook his head and walked away. That evening, after my meeting ended, I should have left town. Every instinct screamed at me to drive back to Boston. But it was late, and my client insisted on meeting again the next morning. Reluctantly, I checked in for another night. This time they gave me room 402. It was smaller, brighter, normal. I locked the door and tried to convince myself that the night before had been some hallucination from exhaustion. At 2:13 a.m., the phone on the nightstand rang. I jumped, staring at it until the second ring forced me to answer. "Hello?" My voice trembled. Silence. Then faintly, "You shouldn't have left." I froze. "Who is this?" Nothing. Just slow, steady breathing. Then the line went dead. I didn't sleep. When morning came, I waited in the lobby until the clerk was distracted, then hurried back up to the 6th floor. The hallway was dimmer this time, the static hum faintly back. And at the end, impossible as it was, a door stood there. 617. I knew I shouldn't, but I pushed it open. Inside, my bag was sitting on the chair, my clothes neatly folded on the desk, my charger still plugged into the wall. The air was colder than ever. My breath fogged immediately, and on the desk lay a note, written in my handwriting. "Don't check out. They won't let you." My knees went weak. I grabbed my bag and stumbled backward, but the door slammed shut behind me. The tapping began again, louder, frantic. Tap, 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 from the walls, the floor, the ceiling. Voices whispered all around me, some male, some female, overlapping in a chaotic chorus. They said my name, over and over. Emily, Emily, Emily. I don't remember how long I was in there. At some point I pulled the curtains open, desperate for air. But outside was only blackness. Not night sky, not ocean, just nothing. The last thing I remember is lying on the bed, exhausted, pulling the blanket over my head as the door creaked open. And then I woke up, in my own bed, at home, days later. There was no record of my stay, no receipt, nothing charged to my card. But when I unzipped my suitcase, my charger was missing. And now sometimes, at 2:13 a.m., my phone rings. When I answer, I hear my own voice whisper back, "Don't check out."
They say every road has its ghost. Some folks talk about phantom hitchhikers, others about strange lights in the sky, or figures darting between the trees. But on Route 422, winding through the dark woods of Pennsylvania, it isn't a person you're warned about. It's a dog. Truckers call it the Black Dog. Legend says if you see it, death follows. Maybe yours, maybe someone else's. Most drivers laugh it off, just folklore to kill the boredom on long hauls. But I'm not laughing anymore because I saw it. And what happened afterward, I still can't shake. I've been driving rigs for close to 20 years. Sleepless nights, endless miles, I've seen about every weird thing the road can throw at a man. Strange lights, drunk drivers, wrecks that haunt your dreams. But this was different. This was wrong in a way I can't explain. It started on a cold February night, somewhere outside Newcastle. I was hauling a load of paper products eastbound. Snow had been falling for hours, soft at first, then heavy enough to turn the asphalt slick and treacherous. The CB chatter had gone quiet. Nobody wanted to be on the road that night, but deadlines don't care about weather. My wipers scraped across ice, my headlights cut tunnels through the dark. That's when I saw it. At first, I thought it was just a stray. A big dog, all black, trotting along the shoulder of the highway. But the longer I looked, the more wrong it seemed. It wasn't moving like a normal animal. It was keeping pace with me. 40, 50 miles an hour, its paws barely touching the ground, eyes glowing like embers in my headlights. I blinked hard, thinking exhaustion was making me see things. But when I glanced again, it was closer, right alongside the cab. Its head turned, and for a split second I swear it was looking straight at me. Then it vanished, not ran off, not fell back, just gone. My stomach dropped. Every hair on my arm stood up. I gripped the wheel tighter and told myself it was nothing. Just a trick of the light, a shadow, a stray hallucination from too much coffee and not enough sleep. But then my radio crackled. Channel 19, faint and garbled, a man's voice. "You saw it, didn't you?" I froze. I hadn't touched the mic. My CB was supposed to be quiet, dead air. The voice came again, weaker this time. "Don't stop. Keep driving." Static swallowed the rest. I kept rolling until I hit a truck stop near Butler. Pulled in, heart still pounding. The diner inside was almost empty. A couple locals hunched over coffee, one waitress behind the counter. I slid into a booth, ordered eggs and toast, tried to steady my hands. An older guy at the counter kept staring at me. Heavy set, beard gone gray, wearing a John Deere cap. After a minute, he got up and shuffled over. "You look like you've seen a ghost," he said. I forced a laugh. "Rough drive." He leaned closer. His breath smelled like cigarettes and black coffee. "Black dog, wasn't it?" The fork slipped from my hand. "What?" He nodded slowly, eyes narrowing. "Don't play dumb." I seen it too, years back, out on this same stretch. Big as a wolf, blacker than midnight. Kept pace with me all the way to Katanning. Next morning, my brother died in his sleep. They say it's an omen. Once it sets its eyes on you, something dies. I wanted to call him crazy, just some superstitious old-timer. But the way he said it, low, steady, deadly serious, made my blood run cold. The waitress chimed in, setting down my plate. He's not the only one. Folks around here grew up with that story. Some say it's a spirit dog, guarding the graves along the highway. Others think it's something older, but everybody agrees. If you see it, bad luck's coming. I didn't eat much after that. I left half my breakfast untouched, hands still shaking when I climbed back into the cab. The next night it came back. I was rolling past Katanning, the river to my left glittering under moonlight. Out of nowhere, there it was again, pacing me, running alongside the truck like a shadow stitched to my wheels. But this time, it wasn't just the dog. In the side mirror, I caught glimpses of shapes, people, dozens of them, flickering in and out of the reflection, like a funeral procession marching behind the beast. I slammed the brakes, heart racing. The highway was empty, nothing there but snow and trees. That same night, I got the call. My cousin back in Ohio. Car accident, instant. I sat in my truck for hours, staring at the dark road ahead, trying to convince myself it was coincidence. But I knew better. The sightings piled up. Night after night, the dog came back. Sometimes far ahead, sitting in the middle of the lane, eyes glowing until I swerved. Sometimes right beside me, silent, steady, never panting, never slowing down. And every time it showed up, someone I knew died. An old friend, a fellow driver, a neighbor I hadn't spoken to in years. The deaths stacked up like mile markers, each one closer to home. One night, parked at a rest stop, I caught a glimpse of it in my windshield. Not outside, in the glass itself, like its reflection had been burned into it. Another night, I pulled into a motel in Apollo, desperate for rest. I closed the curtains tight. Around 2 a.m., I woke to scratching at the door, deep, heavy claws dragging across wood. When I looked through the peephole, there was nothing. But when I checked the floor in the morning, there were paw prints pressed into the carpet. I stopped telling people. Who would believe me? But the CB chatter told me I wasn't alone. One night, west of Indiana, I caught a voice on Channel 19, raspy, tired. "You seen the hound, haven't you?" I hesitated, then answered, "Yeah." The voice gave a bitter laugh. Thought I was the only one. Seen it 20 years back. Thought it was a dog till it started talking. Lost my whole family that month, house fire. Only thing left was me. I wanted to ask more, but the channel went dead. Another night, I heard something worse. I was half asleep at the wheel when the radio crackled, and I heard my own voice. Clear as day. "You saw it, didn't you? Don't stop. Keep driving." My blood ran cold. That was what I'd heard the first night. But this time, it wasn't someone else. It was me. By now, I was unraveling. I'd go days without sleep, driving until my eyes burned, too scared to pull over. Coffee and energy drinks did nothing. My hands shook, my thoughts blurred. Sometimes I'd see the dog out of the corner of my eye, sitting calmly in the passenger seat. Other times, in the reflection of my side mirrors, its glowing eyes stared back at me. I told myself it wasn't real, hallucinations, stress, exhaustion, but the deaths kept coming. And then it got personal. 2 nights ago, my dispatcher, heart attack, out of nowhere. Yesterday, my ex-wife, stroke in her sleep. Now I knew the truth. The dog wasn't warning me about strangers. It was circling closer and closer, killing everything connected to me, until there's no one left but me. The last night started like any other. Eastbound again, Route 422, stretching ahead through the dark. Fog so thick I could barely see the lane markings, and there it was. Bigger than ever, standing dead center of the road. Massive, shoulders higher than the hood of my truck, eyes burning like fire. I hit the brakes, tires screaming. The cab shook, the world spun, and for a moment I thought I'd jackknifed. But no impact came, no crunch of metal, no shatter of glass. Instead, the dog was gone. And in its place, standing in the middle of the highway, was me, or something that looked like me. Same jacket, same cap, same face. Pale, lifeless eyes staring right into mine. My double lifted a hand, pointed straight at me, and then the dog was back, towering behind him. Its jaws opened, rows of teeth glistening, but no sound came out, just silence, heavier than death itself. I swerved, slammed the accelerator, tore past them into the fog. When I looked back, the road was empty, but I know it isn't over. I haven't slept since. Every time I close my eyes, I see it waiting, the hound, and the thing that wears my face. I know what the black dog is now. It wasn't warning me about other people. It was leading me here. Every mile, every death, just steps toward the real end. And I think the next one it's coming for is me.